remember you being one of the people I just was really eager to be friends with. I thought you were so cool because when I got there, you had already gone to Brazil.
Right.
Yeah, so that was way cool. And it took a while. I don't think I really got to know you till sophomore year.
That's probably correct because, I was still getting involved in social sciences, so were you.
And I don't know about you, but my freshman year was completely, like almost diametrically opposed to my sophomore. Because in between was the summer of love, so everything in the world changed. But when I was a freshman, I was very square. I was in this dorm. We were all very square, lots of Catholic school girls, at least in my suite, as we called them. And I joined this Blue and Gold Association, which most people I've met have never even heard of, but we had uniforms in blue and gold, and we were like waitresses for the chancellor. We greeted, and I always remember serving the staff of Time and Life magazine, and they decided I should serve the soup. So I had all these bowls, and all the bowls are clattering, and there's this freshman in blue and gold. And then another girl decided she should hold the soup since all the soup is jumping up and down. So then I was serving the soup, and of course, soup went right in the lap of the chief editor of Time and Life magazine.
Okay,
so
great.
One of my most embarrassing moments throughout my career. But then after I went home that summer, worked at Crest, and the sophomore year, everybody came back. My hair was dyed. My bra was gone. It was a whole new, wilder time.
Oh my God, I so remember that. You know, because you bring up a really good point, Kathy, to go back to what were the students like, because it was true. 1965, 66, we wore dresses to class. We all had the same page boy hairdo pretty much. You know, and by the time we graduated in 1970, Vietnam War, the pill, the summer of love, the hippie culture thing, the civil rights movement.
Right.
Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act in 1964. And then there was all that stuff resulting from the signing of the Civil Rights Act. All of that happened in that 5-year period. So how we were as freshmen, what the students were like, was radically different than 4 or 5 years later.
Mm-hmm. There were still all kinds of people, I think. You know, there were like I was one of the people, I don't remember the name of it, but we had this little coffee shop kind of under where we all ate dinner, which is now something else, but at the time it was a student union. There was a little coffee shop, and I remember staying up all night discussing world events with Buzz, who I think was also a friend of yours, and playing bridge. So you still had these contrasts. Like I think of bridge as a very old-fashioned thing to be doing, but yet you're discussing the war. But some kids were still very conservative.
Very conservative. And you know, I don't remember, at least in any of the people I hung out with, I don't remember the civil rights, much talk or discussion about the civil rights movement, or anybody going to the South for voter registration drives, all of that kind of stuff. Vietnam, I do remember that. There were protests about that, a lot of discussion about that, and of course, a lot of discussion about were the guys we knew going to stay, were they going to go to Canada, what was our draft number. So I remember, you know, of course, you know, the invention of the pill made a huge difference in all of our lives. But, you know, that part in the hippie with, you know, reducing, you know, many of the conventional social conventions, I think that in Vietnam had more of an impact than the civil rights movement. At least that's what I remember.
Just in my own life, it was kind of a time of contrast. And, you know, I would say looking back on it, maybe confused, but I don't think I felt confused at the time. I felt excited and bold and ready to take it all on. But sophomore year, I moved out of the dorms, and so I was on Balboa Island with 3 other girls. My share of the rent, $32.50. So our total rent was $125 a month, and we had to be out for the summer when the lady made more money than students could afford to pay. But so these were very conservative roommates, and kind of into the basketball team. We had a lot of the basketball players over. But by the end of the year, I definitely remember some smoke in the air, and my brothers and sisters will say we went to your little house, and it was all candles, and ooh, you know, it was really cool. So it was an odd time. It was really, you still had parties where people would drink, and then some people were starting to experiment with drugs.
Right, right. Yeah, and of course the music changed too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Jefferson Airplane and the Stones and all of that very much fit in with the change in the culture.
But we still played the Temptations at my house. So
Yep.
we'd have the Doors, and we'd be...
Yep.
It was just a study in contrast, I think, all jumbled up.
Yeah, contrast and being bold. I think those two words really capture it, because it was a lot of contrast and being bold. I through the whole time had the sense of being on this great adventure, and I was part of it.
Well, what about the faculty? They were
And
not
the
the
faculty.
conservative side.
That's right. At least in social sciences. You know?
Yeah.